All right, so today we are actually reviewing what might be my all-time favorite backpack. This is the Clarke Totepack from Stuart and Lau. Let's get right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Desmond. I make content about tech and travel gear, and we have a really exciting review today because this is one of the newest bags from one of my favorite companies, Stuart and Lau. This is the Clarke Totepack. But before we get into it, I just want to mention that Stuart and Lau did send over the Clarke Totepack as well as one of their other brand new backpacks. But they don't get to see this video before it goes live. These opinions are mine. And I've also had time to take this bag on a few trips, including a long one over to London. So I've had a chance to really test and experience this bag the way that I think that it should have been. So for today's review, we are going to walk through a few things. We're going to walk through the build quality, the build material, the design, and the functionality of the Clarke Totepack. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to give you a close look here. I just want you to get an idea of the material. This is actually a really nice green khaki. I enjoy this colorway because I think it fits really well with the overall design aesthetic of this bag. You've got that functionality, but you've also got a level of ruggedness and outdoorsiness to this design here. So as you get a closer look, what's obviously unique about this bag is the shape and the fact that it is a hybrid backpack and a tote. The design is really around a classic aviator helmet bag or like a British bank bag. So you can see we've got these really nice full leather grain handles at the top that allows you to get a good grip on this bag and also allows you to carry it in a different design style than your standard backpack. So as we start to make our way around this bag, let's talk about the main materials used to create this. So this is made from Stuart and Lau's proprietary Duralite fabric. So it is a hybrid type of nylon. Just giving you a little scratch test, but it is very thick, it's very robust, and I think it does a really good job of just holding up to regular wear and tear when you travel. Like I said, I brought this on my trip to London, so it did get a little wet. I shoved this under the seat of the airplane. I threw this into the overhead compartment, had it in and around the hotel. So I've definitely used this and brought this around, and the Duralite fabric is, in its name, relatively durable, and it does a good job of just repelling dirt, grime, weather in general, and it's really easy to clean off. The other thing that you'll notice, and again with Stuart and Lau bags, is their hybrid approach, right? So most of the bag is made from that Duralite fabric, that nylon, but you have accents in important areas that are made from really high quality full grain leather. And if we flip this over to the back again, you're gonna see that full grain Italian leather over here on the backpack straps. You've got some really nice nylon, just soft padding here. And overall, the build quality and these little leather accents all over the bag are really nice and a great addition to giving this functional and rugged bag a more elevated and versatile look. And just a few things to rattle off that are pretty standard with Stuart and Lau bags is high quality stitching. We've got YKK zippers, which are fantastic. And then all of the individual details are really, really well made. Magnetic lid closures, really nice addition. So let's start walking around all the components of the bag. So let's talk about the shape of the bag. I actually really like this. I think it's super sleek. As you can see, it is pretty thin, but don't let that fool you. This thing actually holds a good amount of gear. Got a nice flat back, and then of course the view from the top down. This is what makes it a tote pack versus a standard backpack. So let's just start with the front of the bag. Obviously, it's nice and flat. It's, again, very different than your standard backpack. You have two big pockets here that run almost the entire length of this bag. They are held closed by magnetic clips, which I really like. So this leather feels great. The magnets close really well. What I will quickly say, having tested this for a while, is I wish these magnets were stronger, because sometimes you'll have this thing laying flat on the ground of the airplane and you want to get something out of your little pocket, but the flap won't automatically close. Not always the case, but I wish the magnet was a little bit stronger so it would pull and hold this closed. You can see it like pops open pretty easily. With that said, let's take a look at the functionality of these front pockets. So both of these are exactly the same. They open up via magnets. You can hear that. So you've got a pretty deep pocket, like I mentioned. This thing is really great for storing quick access essentials. I got a couple packs of gum in here for some reason, but you can slide basically anything large enough. I've had an iPad mini in here, so this little pocket right here was my quick access for my iPad mini. So once I got on the plane, I could just reach in, pull it out, and have quick access to it. You can fit a journal, a notebook, anything really, because of how deep these pockets are. And additionally, the nice thing is there's actually a divider in here that gives you some way to break up all this long space. And this side of the bag is exactly the same. So they are basically identical pockets. Let's go ahead and turn it over to the side. As you can see here, again, the profile is really nice. It makes this thing really easy to carry through an airport, especially when you're traveling, just because of how thin it is, even when it's fully loaded. So let's take a look at the side. You've got an expandable water bottle holder. You could also fit a travel tripod in here. That's super simple as well. That's what I did. I have a PGY Tech Mantis pod that I could slide right into this pocket. And then on the other side, I can fit like a water bottle for when I travel. Another big element to call out is this huge pocket here. Just gonna see if you can get a view. This is a zipper. Zip it wide open, and now you have an even larger pocket for more of your gear. I think you could probably fit a relatively small, maybe 13, 14-inch laptop in here if that's where you want to keep your laptop. Probably not. There's a laptop sleeve back here, but you could keep a larger iPad. An iPad Pro is probably the right thing to put in this larger pocket. And inside here are a couple of mesh compartments. So see a couple mesh pockets right here. And then you get the full length of it. So I've got some cables. It's good for organizing. And then again, usually in a Stuart and Lau bag, you've got like their embossed leather emblem here, but that's also a pocket. Now, before we get to the main compartment, let's take a look at the back. So like I said, you've got your Duralite fabric on the entire bag, but you've got these really nice high quality leather accents. So we've got the leather straps, we've got the leather piece here with the Stuart and Lau logo embossed into it, and then you've got our really nice high quality full grain Italian leather handles, which are reinforced by the stitching here. I haven't found any problem with picking this up by the handles. I think they feel really sturdy, really great way to move this backpack around, because these straps, although well designed, they are tapered in an S shape, which allows for maximum comfort. They're still relatively thin, so if you have a heavy load in this backpack, picking it up by one of these, like you can see the backpack get a little bit crazy if the weight isn't well distributed. When you grab it by the top handles though, you have full control over the weight and the maneuverability of this backpack, especially if you're loading this in and out of an overhead compartment, pulling it out from under the seat of the airplane. I prefer these over maneuvering the bag via the straps. So speaking of straps, I mean, nothing special or crazy. Like I mentioned, it's an S-curve design, which allows for comfort. On the back is like a neoprene style material, which is comfortable and relatively soft. And then you've got some metal hardware for the buckles, and again, some tiny leather accents over here. But what I love most about Stuart and Lau is the thought process that goes into the design and the functionality. So if you're looking at the back of the backpack here, it looks relatively standard. What you may be expecting is some type of luggage pass-through. Yes, it has that, which is fantastic. The other nice thing too is this luggage pass-through, if you're not using it, you can zip it up, and then you have this full pocket to store goods in. The other thing that you may not notice is right here is the hidden pocket. It's held together by a magnetic latch, but what I do is I keep my passport in here. So if you take a look here, you can barely see it on the camera because of the way that it's designed, but I can easily just slide my passport in there. And again, it's almost impossible to see, and you would only know it's there if you're looking for it. And it sits differently than your luggage pass-through. So that was a design feature I really enjoyed using. And like I said, making my way through the airport, through customs, having my credit card, my passport super accessible, but completely hidden here was just incredibly helpful and a very thoughtful addition to this backpack. So now let's get to the main compartment. This is a tote pack, so it's nothing crazy. It's not like one of those Peak Design bags with multiple entryway, side, front, top, bottom access. This has a single access point. This large zipper here opens up, and now you have access to the entire length of this bag. And again, because of the length and height, it's pretty cavernous, so you can fit a ton of stuff in here. Let me walk you through some of the pockets inside if you can see properly. So first of all, we've got 2 mesh pockets with zippers. Really good for organization. You can keep a power bank in here. I keep a power bank as well as a wireless modem. I've got some cables that you can easily manage in here. And then you've also got a hidden AirTag pocket. So you can slide an AirTag in there and then hide it away, or you could put SD cards in there, which are another option. So as I get some light in here, I can show you we have side pockets held by magnets, so you could fit some things over here. It's on both sides. And then if I flip the bag around here, you're gonna see the main laptop compartment. This will definitely fit a 16-inch laptop in here, super easy. You've got the magnetic closures, again, which are great. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 additional pockets and 2 pen holders available. So overall, because of its design, this isn't a backpack that's gonna be full of different zippers and opening compartments. I actually think this already has a ton of great functionality. You've got 2 water bottle pockets on the side, or for tripods, you've got these 2 pockets here with organization built in. You've got this zip open pocket here for quick access to an iPad with additional mesh pockets inside. And then in the main compartment, you've got a ton of storage. So you could actually pack a bunch of clothes in here if you wanted this as a single pack for travel. You've got your laptop compartment, you've got more tiny little mesh pockets, you've got some hidden pockets on the side. And as I mentioned, in the back, you've got that super secret passport pocket, as well as the luggage pass-through compartment, which can be opened or sealed for additional storage. Then the other thing that I'll quickly show you is, if you look at the bottom, it is a different material. This is a rubberized, reinforced material, just because this is how you'll be placing your bag on the ground. So if you're noticing now, the backpack is actually empty. There's nothing in it, and yet it still holds its shape and it still stands upright by itself. I think this is a really important design feature. A lot of people don't think about this, or it's just something you kind of shrug off, but having a backpack that sits up on its own, even when empty, is important, especially for those of you that travel a lot. You know, getting in and out of your bag is something you want to do quickly and conveniently. Packing can be a lot more efficient when the bag is standing up and you don't have to constantly pick it up and put it down and hold it up while you're loading things in and out of it. So I thought that tiny detail made a huge impact to the functionality of this bag. So overall, this is probably my favorite travel bag by far from any company, Stuart and Lau included. I am testing another one of their bags, and this one is still hands down my favorite for a few reasons. One, I think capacity is great. This thing holds a ton of gear, and even with this more sophisticated, minimal design, there's a ton of functionality in here. Lots of different pockets, lots of different places to organize your gear. The other thing I love about this is the tote pack design, but maybe it's a combination of the color and the materials that make it so versatile, but I can take this from the airplane to the office, to a conference, to the bar, and this doesn't look out of place. And I think that's what I like about it, is because it can be brought into a business setting. I took it into the office in London, and I had coworkers ask me about this bag because of how great it looked. So it definitely does the job better than your standard like JanSport looking backpack, or even your standard rounded backpack design, which I don't necessarily love seeing when I go to customer events, or if I bring it to a conference. I am usually carrying something more formal like a briefcase, but this kind of checks both those boxes, because I can go from the airport with something highly functional and then take the same bag to a conference, to the office, where it doesn't look completely out of place and will work well with my more dressed up business casual outfit. With that said, one of the things that I think this backpack is probably not great for is those of you that are looking for camera carry. I tend to carry a ton of camera gear when I travel, so when I brought this, I had to find another way to bring my camera gear. I actually threw that into my carry-on suitcase in a specific camera bag or camera sling. The functionality of this is really great, but it doesn't offer a lot of padding or special organization for something as unique as a camera body or a camera lens. But I will say I travel with my Leica Q2 a lot, and I put that in a sling bag and I put that in here, and that worked out really well. So for my everyday travel, when I'm just bringing the Leica Q2 and some smaller little action cameras or the DJI Pocket 3, this is perfect. But if I wanted to bring a single backpack and also bring along my Sony a7R5 or my FX3 or any of my larger full frame cameras, this may not be my first choice, although I could probably be persuaded otherwise. There are other carry options where you could easily throw a full frame Sony camera into here, but maybe I'll test it a little bit more and I'll find the perfect way to carry my Sony cameras, lenses, and all of my gear in this backpack. Because I will say, this looks better than any of the other camera bags that I own as well. Those are my thoughts on the all-new Clarke Totepack. All-time favorite backpack right now. I mean, it's gonna go with me everywhere. I've got several more trips planned for the end of the year and into next year. I don't really have another backpack in my mind that would replace this. But I will also be testing the other Stuart and Lau Crosby backpack, which launched as well, and I'll let you guys know how I enjoy that. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this. I will catch y'all in the next one.